Hey, yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Matthew Maley for MatthewMaley.com. Well, got the jersey on, got the hat on, and they got a great win this week. So it's time to do week 2 of the NFL and fantasy football recap. And let me just say that this week was nowhere near as good as last week. To recap, you guys, I went 4-0 last week with the Ravens win, the Cardinals win, and I went 2-0 in my fantasy leagues. Did not do that this week. First off, we'll start with the real football since, hey, they're getting paid. We'll start off with the. It's funny because the one game I expected to lose, the one game I expected to win. And of course, because this is football and anything that can happen will happen, it was the exact opposite that happened. My guaranteed winner ended up losing, and my guaranteed loser ended up winning. So, for those of you guys aren't familiar with it, the Cardinals pulled off a stunning victory. It's well known that West Coast teams that travel to the East Coast and have the early game, they have like the worst record ever. They're doing worse than the Houston Astros are this year. I mean, it's seriously like a .18 winning percentage or something silly. But amazingly, and I will say that we got some help at the end, the Cardinals flew to New England and beat the oh so mighty New England Patriots. Wow, that's all I can say. I didn't get to watch the game. We didn't get it out in Vegas, so I don't know all the ins and outs. But from what I saw of the highlights, our defense just murdered them. It really showed how lacking the Patriots' offensive line really is. I think we got like 5 sacks on him, 4 or 5 sacks. Picked him once, got a fumble, and held him to, I think, like 219 yards of total passing and 1 touchdown, if I'm not mistaken. But and we got a blocked punt. Almost got in for the touchdown. Got a blocked punt. Really, we're just looking good. But as the Cardinals always find a way to do, we gave them a chance. And really, it ended up being the Patriots lost this game instead of we won it. Even though for 3/4 of the game, we were, just controlling the game. And then in the 4th quarter, with 2 minutes to go, Mr. Williams coughs up the ball. And next thing you know, Patriots drive it on down and thankfully didn't try as hard as they could have to get a touchdown, and figured, hey, our kicker's gotten 4 kicks up to this point. He can get 1 more. And thankfully, he shanked it wide left. So ended up with the Cardinals' victory, even though we stole the win there. What's funny is it started off with a game that we earned the win. Then, through one dumbass play, gave them the chance to win it. And then at the end, they lost the game instead of us winning. So definitely a crazy game, but was awesome for the Cardinals to get a statement win. And even if the Patriots did lose it, that's still a statement win. I mean, just any win on the East Coast for an early game from the Cardinals would be a statement win. And the fact that it's the Patriots, impressive. So that was my assumed loss that ended up being a win. But then that gets us to my assumed win. So the Ravens were a 1-point underdog going into Philadelphia. I didn't know how, just based on the fact that Philly looked pretty awful going against Cleveland last week and somehow pulled out a win. So the thought of, them being a 1-point favorite over the Ravens, I wasn't getting. Either way, I was putting money on it because I figured, hey, even if I predicted a Ravens win, period. So Ravens came out looking pretty solid first half, defensively, offensively, all that. And then second half, and I hate to agree with Skip Bayless, but Joe Flacco looked like Joe Fluco, to quote the self-appointed god of debate. And it was sad to see. because as good as he looked in week 1, that's how bad Flacco looked in the second half of week 2. And a lot of people, a lot of analysts were saying this was a trap game, that the Ravens weren't going to win every game this season, this was just going to be one that they lose, da-da-da-da-da. But I didn't believe that, because I don't feel that they need to have games like that. You don't, I mean, and to me, if a team's good enough to be one pass away from a Super Bowl, and, you know, is good enough to be a favorite to make back to the Super Bowl or to that position, you can't give away games like this. And the second half, their defense looked horrible. The offense looked even worse. And it just seemed like they were trying not to lose instead of playing to win. And what do you know? Ended up losing by 1 point. So the spread was actually right on, as funny as that is. But it was definitely annoying and disappointing to see when we were up 17-7, and then just to let them chunk away and chunk away and chunk away and chunk away in a game that shouldn't have happened. Then to have a horrible call on offensive pass interference by Jacoby Jones, which myself nor anybody was able to figure out where that was from. But apparently the replacement refs knew something that, you know, football analysts of decades didn't know, or me. But I don't really, I have probably just about as good of a resume as the replacement refs, so maybe I could value my opinion. But regardless, I was very disappointed about that. Just the fact that they were up for that long, and then to have it go as south as it did, as quickly as it did, just pissed me off. So I'm 1-1 with my real games, and that gets us around to our fantasy. Well, in the BFFL league, the previously Barrows league, I just started off doing horribly from the beginning. Everything was just going badly. Vic didn't do well. I had Andre Johnson, who got me 2 points. Larry Fitzgerald, who got me 0.4 of a point. Chris Johnson, who got me pretty much no points. And Matt Forte, who got me pretty much no points. So I ended up with, of my starting 2 receivers and starting 2 running backs, ended up with under 8 points. Yeah. My defense got me like 14, sort of my kicker. And that was that. Yeah. Found out at the last minute Antonio Gates wasn't playing, so I had to get in whoever the Titans tight end is. He got me like 3 points. Which is funny because that was, 2.5 more points than either one of my Larry Fitzgerald got me. So, but also add to that fun, Matt Forte is probably going to be out for some extended period of time. So the hits just keep on coming. I also am officially the lowest power ranked team in this league. And, to add to it, I'm in second to last place for weekly picks. But I know I'll turn that around. I always do really well at those. Only person I'm ahead of is the guy who forgot to put in his picks for week 2. And my survivor pool is officially over as well, as myself and 4 other people all picked Washington, and somehow the Rams spoiled RG3's second game. So there are officially only 2 or 3 people left in the survivor pool. So it's pretty crazy. So it was a bad week for that league. Then we get to the other league, and things are looking good. I'm having a pretty solid week. I'm scoring a lot of points. I'm feeling pretty solid. This is the league that I had Brady in, so even though Brady wasn't doing that well, I still felt, not horrible about it. I had, let me see, the other people I had going here. I had Dwayne Bowe, who had a great game, ended up scoring me 26 points. Houston Texans defense scored me 19. And I had some other pretty solid scores in there, so I was feeling pretty good. Ended up scoring 134 points, and it was funny, going into the last game, I had Michael Turner and somebody else going up against the guy I was playing, had Matt Ryan. Scored 134 points, ended up 134-98, and lost to somebody who scored 144.32. And to make it even better, the best part. I would have beaten 7 out of the 8 other people of the week, except the one guy I played. Awesome. So, that was pretty much just a shitty week. Ended up going 1-3. Shitty week. But it is what it is. What can you do? I mean, those are just the bad matchups that happen. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing you can do about it except hope that you get lucky the next time. So, hopefully next week is a little bit better. Don't get decimated by injuries as much as I did this week, or just unluckiness. But it is what it is. What can you do? So, how did you guys do? I'm always curious. Let me know what you guys, how your teams did, both fantasy and otherwise. Tough week, but I'm hoping to have another 4-0 week this next week, so maybe it'll bounce back a little bit. So let me know what you guys think of my unluckiness in fantasy. That horrible game that was the Eagles-Ravens, the amazing game that was the Cardinals-Patriots, or really any of the other silliness that went on. So, as always, I am Matthew Maley. This is MatthewMaley.com, and that is your fantasy and NFL round, or week 2, football roundup. What is the actual name? An NFL and fantasy football roundup for week 2. I think that's the actual name. It's late. I'm sorry. Cut me some slack. So, as always, thank you guys for checking out my videos. Much appreciated. Hope you guys had a better week in football than I did, which is funny. Even though it was a crappy week, it's still football, and I still loved it. So, hopefully you guys had a better week than I did, though. And hopefully you guys went 4-0, or however many you know, since I didn't. And, well, let me know what you guys think of the video and how you guys did. As always, you can check out my videos on MatthewMaley.com directly. Check out the current video blog tab, or check out my old video blog in the previous video blog drop-down menu. You can also check me out directly on YouTube. Search for Matthew Maley Poker. You can like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. You can also check me out on Facebook. I post all my videos on there as well. So, again, search for Matthew Maley Poker and like the page. You can also follow your boy on Twitter. I am at Matthew Maley, and I'm always tweeting on there. Especially during football games, I live tweet pretty much nonstop through the whole game if it's a team I like. And finally, follow your boy on Instagram. I am at Matthew Maley. At Matthew Maley Poker. So follow me on there and stay tuned to all kinds of fun stuff popping up. So until the next video, I am officially signing off. Hope everybody had a great weekend and your week is starting off on point as well. Peace out, everybody.